Welcome to the last lecture of the semester. Today we're looking at media scheduling. Whether you say schedule or schedule, they're all correct pronunciation. So, media scheduling or scheduling. I like scheduling, so let's go with scheduling. Media scheduling. In media scheduling, you would have to buy the media. But basically, what the media scheduling has to do with is selecting the spaces and the platforms where you are going to run your ads. So the questions that come up during media scheduling are where, how long, and then how much. And of course, after you schedule your media, after you buy and then you run them, you definitely have to evaluate them. So you realize that I have put about 2 or 3 topics over here. So media scheduling, we will have a short conversation about buying, 1 or 2 things you should know when you're doing media buying, and then we'll talk about how to evaluate. What you realize is throughout the semester in our conversations, we would have talked about evaluation, we would have talked about buying, we would have talked somehow about scheduling. So this is just like should I say a rounding up of some of the things that we have talked about. So let's go. The first questions that were asked, the where, when, how long. When we say where, basically what we are talking about is the channel or the platform that you would want to run your ads on. And of course, you cannot do anything without research. The platforms that you are going to select will depend on what information you have concerning the audience and their characteristics. So whether it's going to be CT, whether it's going to be LinkedIn, whether it's going to be on, if it's even on a radio station, whether it's going to be local or regional or national radio station or TV station, it all depends on your research and the information that you have. Yeah, so when we are talking about the where, basically we are asking where, as in which platform you're going to use throughout the period of the campaign. The when has to do with the time. The when has to do with the time that you would want the ads to be shown. So it is not enough selecting a media platform, but also the time is important. A lot of research have gone to show that the time you select for whatever it is that you're doing has a correlation with the nature of your audience. So different kinds of people, of course, like different kinds of programs. And apart from even the programs, different kinds of people have different time. So somebody may have time to listen to radio in the mornings, and after that, throughout the day, the person will not get time again. You understand? So the person only listens to radio in the mornings. There are some people who only watch TV in the evenings, morning, afternoon, or only on weekends. So you will find all these things out based on research. Again, as I said, if you don't do research is very important in advertising or even in marketing, the whole marketing campaign. Research is very important because it is the information that you are going to bank on to take an action. So the when, the time that you want to run your ads or you want to show your ad to your audience. How long is talking about the campaign period, not how long the ad is going to be. Over here, the how long is talking about the campaign period. So is the campaign period, are you scheduling it for a year? Is it 6 months? Is it 10 months? Is it 1 week? Is it 2 days? How long is the campaign period? Sometimes the length of the campaign period can give you an idea of even what kind of scheduling to use. Because if somebody contacts you this week and then says, Charlie, next week now I'm launching this program, help me out. You realize that doing a pause may not really help because you don't have time. So you don't need to be breaking or maybe even flighting Flighting may not help. Pulse may help, but flighting, no, not a good idea, because you'll be vanishing from the media space on certain days, and those are valuable days that people could use to hear about your or the program. So how long, or the length of the campaign period, can also give you an idea of the nature of the scheduling that you're going to do. So the where, when, and then we've talked about the how long, so it will give you an idea. Now, how much is it going to cost? Now, this is in the area of media buying, of course. And remember, we talked about efficiency. Media planning and buying is all about efficiency. So making the most out of what you have. So if a client gives you a budget, you would have to use that budget judiciously. So if you're lucky, some clients may not give you a budget, a figure. They would say, you know what, schedule it how you think it would work, and then bring us the budget, or bring us the cost. So you will sit down and decide, okay, I'll do TV, I'll do radio, I'll do this, I'll do that. And then after that, you send them the cost, the bill. Now, it is very important as a media buyer to have good relationship with the media sellers. By media sellers, I mean the people who, whether it's the sales agents or whatever of the media houses, they are the ones who would give you the spaces or the slots. Apart from the fact that they can give you discounts if you have good relationship with them, apart from discount, sometimes a program or a period in a day may be so hot that everybody wants to run ads during that period. But of course, if 20 people want to run ads and there's only room for 10 ads, we would have to do elimination by rough tactics. So if you have good relationship with these people, you're likely to get a slot, in even the most difficult or the most expensive or the most sought after periods. You'll be able to get a slot over there. So that's what you should know about media buying. And of course, just like when you're buying anything, try and do window shopping. You have done media math, so you have an idea of how to go about looking at the impression, cost per impression, and your gross ratings and all that, to be able to have an idea of whether cost per meal, whether you are saving money, whether you're being efficient or not. Of course, media buying is not all about the cheapest, because sometimes depending on your audience and depending on what you want to achieve, you may need to select media platforms that are expensive. Sometimes even the image or the brand, the position of the brand that you are looking at can even affect the platforms that you choose. If you're BM, or if you're a big brand that is known and respected, you will not want to run your advert on some 2x4 radio station that started a month ago, or that is in some corner be somewhere. You understand? You would want the big names, because you would want them to be associated with your brand. And of course, that's where you're going to find the kind of people who will be able to afford your vehicles anyway. And of course, and after that, after you schedule, after you buy, you run your ads, you do evaluation. And we'll talk about evaluation in a bit. Now, before we go look at how media scheduling is done, I want us to look at scheduling format again. I received some questions. There'll be a special reaction video to the questions that you asked, but I wanted you to know that I realized from some of the questions I have received from students that some are not too clear on the scheduling format. So again, I found this which explains the scheduling format in a pictorial form, which I think would help. So the continuous, the flighting, and then the pulsing. The continuous, over here, we're talking, you know what? Let me explain like this. There are two levels to the scheduling format. The first level is the macro level, and then we have the micro level. Now, the macro level is looking at the whole campaign in itself. Are you looking at a continuous campaign? Are you looking at a flighting campaign, or are you looking at a pulsing campaign? So, for instance, Vitamilk has contacted you. I like Vitamilk, Papa. Vitamilk has contacted you, and then they say, hey, Jessica, this is our media plan, or this is our brief. This is your brief, here. And then you tell them, oh, okay, I want to do a continuous scheduling format. Yeah, meaning throughout the year, you want to maintain the level of concentration of advertising. You want to maintain one level of concentration of advertising throughout the year. That is if the campaign period is a year. If it's a 6 months and you want to do a continuous campaign, it means that you want to maintain the certain level of concentration of advertisement throughout. When you say you want to do a flighting campaign, what you are saying is you want to run the campaign for a while, and then you want to stop. So you see the flighting, you see in between the blocks, there is no action. Yeah, look at it like a bar graph. Over there, there's 0. And so that's the break. And then it comes again. Then there's a break, and then it comes again. So that is how you want, maybe you want to do your campaign. Maybe you say you want to do a flighting campaign. Or you would want to do a pulsing campaign where you will start with a certain level of advertising concentration, but then as time goes on, you would either decrease it or increase it, but not stop. When you stop, then you're going to flighting, but you either decrease it or you increase it. So that's a scheduling format for media campaigns. But what you realize is this micro level, that is inside the continuity. Let's say if you're doing a continuity campaign, inside the continuity campaign, when you're doing your campaign, there will be TV, radio, blah, 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 blah. And in the scheduling, you may schedule radio to run from January to March, and then schedule TV to run from this period to that period, and then schedule this. So you may, in scheduling the media itself, you may do flighting schedule for one particular media and pulsing schedule for another media, and then continuity for another medium. But when we are talking about the whole campaign itself, it is a continuous campaign. Now, where you might get confused is, so how do I, if I'm doing a continuous campaign, I thought it meant that you are making noise. Yes, you're making noise throughout a continuous campaign. Now, the key word here is campaign. When we're talking about an advertising campaign, we're talking about the period from start to finish of you running your ads. So that's the campaign I'm talking about. So if you're doing a continuous campaign, what we're saying is you are keeping a certain level of visibility throughout the period. So if you want to do television, if your money is television, only Mondays, and the campaign period is 1 year, and only every Monday throughout the year you are running it, it is a continuous campaign. Yeah, that is your money. Somebody too can do Monday to Friday TV throughout the year. It is a continuous campaign. Basically, when we are talking about continuous campaign, we say you are maintaining a certain level of exposure. So you know your level of exposure that you want. Yeah. And then there's pulsing. That means that you maintain a certain level of exposure and then you reduce that level of exposure. the flighting, you maintain a certain level of exposure, and then you stop totally. So I hope this has clarified the scheduling format for you. When you're scheduling, the scheduling format as in from the angle of a campaign, a whole campaign, and then from the angle of the media platform that you select and how you would want to run them. Now, to make things clearer, hopefully in the next slide, when I show you an example of a media schedule, or a schedule, maybe things might be clearer for the micro explanation of scheduling format. So now let's move on to the next slide. So look at this. I'm sure when you Google media planning, media buying, all those things, you sometimes come across things like this. And then you wonder why they are doing colors and disco light and all those things, and what the point of all this is. This is a media schedule for, I don't know whether it's a product or a service, but let's just say it's a product. Now on the left, top left, you see activity, and then you see magazines in bold, and then you see national radio, and then you see internet, and you see television. These are the media platforms that the individual who did the schedule has planned to use. Of course, under magazines, they specify the particular magazine: Women's Health, Vogue Living, Gourmet Traveler. Under radio, you see Program 1 Drive Time, Monday to Friday, PM. They do internet, news.com, television, they give the television station. And then you see, again on the top, from left to right, you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Those are the days. So this appears to be a monthly schedule or a calendar. Yeah, they have come with different names: schedule, calendar, media plan calendar, media scheduling calendar, whatever it is. But you know it's the same thing they're talking about. So those are the days that they will be running the advertisements. So this is a media calendar for a month. Look at the first line: magazines, Women's Health. You realize that Women's Health has been colored from 1st of whatever month it is to the 25th of that month, which means that throughout that month, the ad is going to be in the magazine. Yeah? Throughout that month, I think the magazine may probably be a monthly magazine. Yeah. Of course, one advantage of magazine is even after that month, the magazine will still be lying there. But we are working with the period within which the magazine is supposed to be at its peak. That is when we say June edition, July edition. Everybody goes looking for June edition or July edition. So this period, after June or after July, the magazine will still be there. Your ad will still be in there. But the focus is on the period within which the magazine's edition is fresh. So now, from 1st to 25th is when the ad is going to be visible. In Vogue Living, the person says this is from 15th to 25th. So it is likely that magazine is probably a bi-weekly magazine or whatever. So it's starting from the 15th and then it will be running till the 25th. When you look at radio, it says Program 1 Drive Time, Monday to Friday, PM. So you know drive times. And on the 1st to the 5th, they would run ads on drive time from Monday to Friday. And then there will be no ads on 6th and 7th. And then they will come back 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. So you realize that for radio, the first Program 1 Drive Time, realize that the scheduling format on a micro level, you see it looks like the flighting where it starts and then it stops and then it starts and stops. The stopping days 6, 7, 13, 14, I'm sure they are weekends, and you realize weekend they will not get the people we would want to listen to, so they stopped over there. So you see they used, when it comes to the scheduling format for Program 1 Drive Time, that is that radio station, they used the flighting schedule. When you come to internet, you realize that news.com, it is from 1st to 25th. So that one is continuous. Yeah. So that's what I was talking about with the micro level. So you select one medium, and then you can still do the flighting and all those things with that too. So now that that is out of the way, this is a typical media calendar or schedule for a program, a product or a service. So this one, again, it is just for a month, and the media platforms that the person will be using have been listed on the left. For your convenience sake, it has even given you the names of the media platforms that the ads are run on, and that is how you should do yours too, so that it makes it easy for you to follow. Remember, you're not doing it just for shaggy reasons. You're doing it because you would also need it to monitor. Yeah, because that's another job in advertising, media monitoring. So if you have you finish running or placing your ads and you want to monitor, and you can give this schedule to a media monitoring company, and then they will be monitoring to make sure program one, drive time, Monday to Friday, whether the ads were run as indicated. Yeah. So that is one reason why you need it. And then another reason is, of course, you need it for yourself to be able to have a pictorial idea of what it is that you are up to. Yeah. You can extend it to 2 months, the calendar, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year. Yeah. That one, it is up to you. So let us look at something over here. Look at this calendar or this schedule. The difference between this and then the other one is, when you see the channels are on the left, that's fine. But this one doesn't have dates, as in first, second, third, like the previous one. This is just the months, January, February, March to December. Now, this is because this calendar is not looking at it at the weekly level. It is looking at it at the monthly level. It is looking at the schedule at a monthly level. Yeah. So at the monthly level, when you look at it, you realize that you're going to run ads in the magazine from January to March. You're going to run ads on radio in January, and then run ads in October, and then no television from January to December. There's television, TV3 from January to September, City from this to that. So you realize that this is not as detailed as the previous one, because this is monthly, or should I say this is the whole year, and then the other one was looking at it monthly. So normally when you're drawing your calendar, what can help you is you can do a yearly schedule, and then after that you come and break it down to monthly. So this one, for instance, this says magazine from January to March, or let's use a radio. It says January. Now you can have another schedule like the previous one, like this one, where you break down the radio, and then in the month of whether January, this one, what was it, January, in the month of January you do your dates like how it has been done here, and then you indicate when in January the times that you would be running your ad. So it makes it easy and simpler for you. So on each level you have an idea of whether it's a monthly level, quarterly level, annual level. You have an idea of how your whole scheduling looks like. And over here you realize that looking at the months on the top, you see January, February, March. There's no April, May, June, and then there's September, October, December. So you can see that if the campaign is running for a year, they are going to be absent, not low. They're going to be totally absent in April, May, June. So you know that this campaign is a flighting schedule campaign. Yeah, so the whole mastermind thing is a flighting schedule campaign, because there are some months that they're not going to be there at all. Yeah, okay. Moving on. So after that, you come to evaluation. Now, of course, you have drawn your schedule, you know your dates and your times and all this. You have spoken to the media houses, you have your budget, and now you have run the ads. Now, this is where the evaluation comes in. Now, evaluation begins from the first day ads and your advertisements go out. Don't wait till, you are waiting 1 week, you are waiting this or that, because you do not know when and how. If, for instance, your whole advertising objective is to get people to increase sales. So you have put some numbers there, get people to call a certain number or go to a certain shop to buy. From day one, you would need to put measures in place, to evaluate or monitor what is going on. There are different platforms, and each platform has different evaluation method. Of course, as for internet, you'll be able to get your impressions and your click-through rate and all those things, and then you'll be able to for TV over here in Ghana, if you want to know whether the ad is working, if it is awareness, when you're doing your evaluation, then it means that you would have to, before you run your ads, find out the percentage of people who are aware of the product, so that you use that as your benchmark before you run your ads. And then after you run your ads for a period, then you interview people again, and then you find out the percentage of awareness, so that you know whether the awareness has increased or decreased, or whatever it is. So different platforms have different ways by which you would evaluate their effectiveness. There are some to the way you can evaluate them is through the number of calls you have had. Remember, if you put a billboard up, for instance, you may know that you have 1,000 impressions. Now that's because maybe on the average, per data, you have about 200 cars pass here each day, and each car has, let's say, about 5 people in it. So you're assuming 5 times 200 will make 1,000, and when they pass it, they will see the billboard, so 1,000 impressions on the average. Now, if you want to know whether it is working, you would have to let somebody sit by your telephone, as I said the last time. People call and say, "Thank you for calling, blah, blah, blah." Maybe you answer the person's problems and then, or inquiry, and then you say, "Please, can I know how you got to know of us?" "Oh, I saw a billboard, blah, blah." "Oh, okay." "Oh, a friend told me." "Oh, okay. I saw it online." "Oh, okay." Then you put it down. So at the end of the week, month, whatever, at the end of a certain period, you can go to this and then look and see if it is working. Now, this is because, remember, you don't want to waste your client's money. Maybe per data you had, maybe newspapers were good, but after evaluating, and you have scheduled newspaper for like 6 months, maybe after 1 month, 2 months of evaluating newspaper, you realize people calling, nobody's calling and saying, "I saw it in the newspaper." Everybody's saying, "I saw it online." Then maybe you might be wasting money with the newspaper. So you can stop running ads on the newspaper. So if you have run 3 months, you can stop and then not do the other 3 months that is left. And then you tell your client, this is why. So that money we would have used to buy more newspaper slots, we're going to use it to pay for online ads, because those are the ones that are working better. Of course, ads not working may not necessarily be because of the platform. Sometimes too, it could be because of the creative design, even the creative design or the message. Because the design you would need for radio, or the message you need for radio, may be different from what you would need for social media. If it is a photo or a billboard, radio, it is voice, you are saying it. Billboard, it is a picture. So maybe how it was designed, or how the message was couched in the radio ad, could be affecting your calls, or the performance of your advertisement. So you realize that there are some nuances over there, and you need your whole team to be on top of their game to help you to be able to pinpoint what exactly is going wrong with your advertisement. So you review everything based on the feedback. So evaluation is not at the end of it. It is a daily, weekly, whatever process. Of course, if you're doing a program for your campaign is for a year, it would not make sense to sit down with your whole team. You want to see if the ad is running after a week. You would want to give it some more time, because normally if the campaign is longer, you may want to ease according to your plan. Maybe you may want to have eased the audience into the ad, so maybe it will take some time. If the campaign is going to last for like a week or a month, then you know that Charlie, that one, the shabu shabu, you have to know whether it is working. No, first day, second day, yeah. So you now use your I don't know what was the word, gumption, to see how often you would have to be evaluating based on the length of the campaign itself. I hope that makes sense. Based on the length of the campaign itself. So basically, that is it. I try to make this final lecture as short as possible. If you have any questions, please go ahead and then ask. And even though it's the final lecture, of course, I'm going to answer your questions. And look forward to the reaction to the Media Math video too. Now, let us go to examination. Now, of course, you see the gentleman in the picture, he make what? Because you know they see that in top. But I don't want that to happen to any of you. Yeah. When you're happy, I'm happy. When you're sad, well, maybe I'm happy. But when you're sad, I'm sad. So let's see. How is the examination going to be? Now, I'm sure you've been told already that the exam is going to be online. So yes, it's going to be online. The exam would have you coming up with a media schedule, like the plan that you saw with the calendar thing. Yes, I would ask you to do something like that. So I would like to see how you go about it. I'll give you media channels, or the channels. I'll give you some rates, prices. I'll have you let you know the reach of the media platforms, and then I'll give you a budget, and then the campaign period, and you would select, using the budget judiciously, you select where and when and how you would want the ads to run, and I'm sure you'll be able to handle that. And then there will be some objective questions, about 15 objective questions. So it's hopefully to make things easier for you, 15 objective questions. But be careful, they are tricky, so you would have to read them well and make sure you are selecting the right answer. Each question is 2 marks, so it means that after the 15 you would have scored 30. If you score all, you have scored 30. And then there will be 2 short answer questions, which will be 5 marks each, making 40. And then the schedule that you'll be creating will be 20 marks, making 60. So that's how the examination is going to be. Nothing you should worry about. So don't be like that guy in the picture over here. I want you to see you smiling and jumping. And the ultimate examination is when you have a client and you are now asked to bring a schedule or to bring a media plan, and then you would have to sit down to wonder, how am I going to go about this? So don't think because you passed exam, you had A or 1 or first class, that means you know that. No. It is about actually being able to do and doing it well. So even after this, if you are doing somewhere and then you draw a media schedule and you want to send it to me so I look at it and then we discuss whether it is feasible or not, or whatever it is, please do get in touch. Yeah, no shaking, because it is a lifelong study here. It's not after exams, Yapon. No, it's a lifelong study. Me, I'm still learning more about, every day, learning more about planning, advertising in general, marketing in general, public relations in general. Those are my areas. So I'm always learning something new. So, yeah, not to worry about that. Always, you feel free to get in touch and we can have conversations. You're free to keep visiting the channel, because even after this, I'll be selecting topics in the field of advertising and public relations, and these are fields that you'll be venturing into. And then I'll be giving shorter explanations. It could be 10 minutes, 15 minutes explanations into things and how things are done in the field. So maybe even in your offices and wherever it is you are, you can occasionally visit the channel to see if something new has come up that might help you in your lifelong journey. So enjoy your week and all the best in the exam.